Hello, career thought leaders. Good to see you here today. And we are excited to be talking about new LinkedIn profile changes and features and some things that are going away that used to be there, especially for free members, and hearing what you all are seeing in terms of LinkedIn profile and feature changes. So go ahead and drop a note in the chat. Let me know that you're joining and where you're joining from. And we actually made it happen today that we're live in our Facebook group at the same time that we're live everywhere else. So we're excited to finally be figuring out that new wrench that Facebook has thrown into anything. Hi, Laura. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Excellent. And on YouTube, yes. So if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so that you get notified when we go live and when we post the videos, as we post some recaps sometimes. And we are, as I said, talking about LinkedIn today. And I look forward to hearing what you all are seeing, because there's always changes. But I really want to talk about the changes that are most impactful to the work we do with people on their careers. We typically take about 20 minutes, unless we really get going, typically around 20 minutes. So I'm excited to dive in and share some of this with you. Of course, we're going to go to LinkedIn. We're going to look at some things, and I've been playing around with some features on some other things that will help as well. Anyways, here we go. LinkedIn profiles, what's new? Some of the things that you might not have noticed, I've just seen some people not maybe noticing these. Most people now can put a link there underneath their name. And if you haven't done that, or your clients haven't done it, you can put a little link there. It's called a button. And it's not really a button, but you can put a link there. The other thing I just noticed when I was going in to do this the other day is, you used to be able to name your websites. So when you put in contact information, you could put in the different websites. You can still put in one website, but then you can put in other websites. But if you put in other, so you used to put in other and it would let you put in a name there of the site, and it doesn't let you do that anymore. So I went into mine and they all just said other, instead of saying company. So you can still have multiple ones. I don't know why my other one that I had up there disappeared. That's interesting. But you can still have multiple websites connected to your profile, but you can't custom name them anymore by selecting other. Now it just says other. So you probably don't want to use that anymore. You can you have to select a drop down. So now both of those are going to say company, which isn't ideal. But that was a change that I just noticed recently in my LinkedIn profile and in that contact section. But if you don't have that button, that was right there where I was showing you as well, that you can put in the custom button. May only be they don't tell me that it's only for premium, but it might be. So just check that out, see what you think. So the other thing that is somewhat new here is that they've moved the about section up above the featured and everything. So for a while they had the featured up on top of everything. And recently they went to where the about section was on the top. We talked about how that was going to happen when we had Nelson Emilio on the show a few weeks ago before the symposium. But now it's actually happened. The about section is up there. It's bigger. It's standing out there. And let me see if I can just make this a little easier to see. There we go. So that about section is up there. The other thing I found that many clients aren't paying attention to is this new top skills section, where you can choose the top 5 skills you want to be listed under your about section. And this is kind of like the skills underneath a resume summary, right? Where you want it to be aligned to your goal. And I've seen high-level people that have very, low-level communication skills and things there. So we want to be sure we're really paying attention to what is there. It's not going to let me show you that, unfortunately. And then we were just sharing the other day in one of our other groups about this featured section. And if you've got a client, just thinking about all the different things you could list in this featured section, maybe they don't have a website but they could put a picture of their credentials. They could put a white paper, something that they've written, anything that they would put in a portfolio, they could put here in the featured section. So this is a great audience participation option. Share what you want to do in that featured section for yourself or for your clients. How are you using that featured section? What might you put there? It's a fairly neglected section by a lot of our clients because they don't know what to put there, but there's just so many options. You can upload media. Let me see if my pop-up will work here. So you can add a post if you posted something, add a newsletter or article. So on LinkedIn, those are kind of the same almost, but you can add one of those, but you can add an external link, like a link to a video on YouTube or an article that you've written, or of course your website, or you can upload media. And that's where we talked about that you could upload a document and, a white paper or PDF, something that you've written that isn't proprietary to the company. If you've created something proprietary to a company, you could put in a modified version or an anonymized version. Let's say you made a financial dashboard or whatever for your company. You could make that anonymous fake data and put that in here. Of course, pictures of credentials or certificates and all those options there. 2 or 3 items is going to be plenty just to get something in that space that's relevant, interesting to your audience, and visual, because we know that we're all drawn to the visuals. So yeah, excited to see you at NCDA. Jeff is saying that the button is only for premium accounts. Yeah, I think you're right there. But if you have a premium account or your client's doing a test, which they may want to do for some of the features we're going to talk about here in a second. So then, of course, you have your activity. Our clients often don't know that their activity is very public, right? If someone is connected to you, depending on how you've got your profile settings, this activity is just out there for everyone, not just your posts, but your comments and everything that you're doing there. So it's important that people understand that and that they are aware that that's a very visual kind of big part of your profile. So some other things that we've been talking about recently that people didn't know were an option is all the places that you can put media. So we looked in that featured section that you could put media there. You can also connect media to every experience section and every degree section or certificate. So you can come in here and add media. You can also connect skills, and those kind of get a little bit of bump with that little diamond and bold. So thinking about the skills that you want to connect to a job, and you can load them in your skills section first, and then you can come here and connect them to a job. It's really not liking that today, but you can do that. So I can go in here and say which skills are connected to which jobs, and I can do that in the skills section, it looks like. And then again, more media. So you can add media to every job. You can add media to education. So here I've got the media that's added to my education. You can add media to a credential. If your credential has a link associated with it, you can also, link it to the place where you can verify that credential. You can connect skills to these. So there's all these kind of interconnected things that you can do now with the profile that make it easier to kind of navigate, but they also make it easier for your skills to be highlighted. LinkedIn's really gotten into that kind of skills-based hiring movement. And so they're trying to let you show your skills. We did a session a few weeks ago with Denise Bittler on how to find those skills, what skills you want to include. And you can go back and grab that. I'll put the link in here in a minute. And you can go grab that and just figure out what skills you want to list, but then you can connect them so that everything's kind of interconnected throughout here. I'm just going to scroll down to the skills section where now we can add 100 skills. So this has been around for a while, but I still see people that don't know about it. And I don't think I've even gotten up to 100 skills because it's kind of a lot, right? But you can add skills. Best way to add skills is to start typing whatever you're thinking about and then to choose from the drop down, because you know that that's something that's part of LinkedIn's database. So it's a great idea to just type in whatever you're thinking about. Then you can mark where you use those skills. And I'd be careful about how many skills you get connected to each experience, because it gets a little overwhelming. It's kind of like having that laundry list, right? But you can connect those skills to some of your experiences, your education, licenses, and certification. So you can do all of that and connect them to those individual places where you want. You can even connect them to projects, volunteering, publications, honors and awards, organizations. Like you can connect them everywhere, which is very interesting. And then follow this skill to keep up with relevant content. I haven't seen that that makes any impact in anything, but you can check or uncheck that button if you haven't checked that out. So those are some of the new things associated with profiles. And oh, it's saying that skill is already in my profile. And okay, well, it's interesting that you let me choose it, but we'll just X out of there for now. Discard. And you can also reorder your skills. So if I click on the little edit button, you really want the top 2 skills you want to be known for to be on the top, not just whatever ends up there because you're adding things. So you click on those little 3 dots after you're in the skills section, and you can reorder those skills so that the most important ones are on top. I've been playing around putting those AI things in there, but they're definitely not the most important thing that I do. So I can just grab those little 3 bars, 4 bars, and move things around as I see fit. Always thinking about that with your audience just isn't thinking about that. And all those little things add up, especially when you look at the profile, and those skills on the public profile are very visible. They have that visual element with them, with the endorsements, and you don't have to have the most endorsed skills at the top 2. You can have whatever you want there. So those are a few of the newer features that are actually in your profile. And then, of course, there's tons of other sections that you can add that I haven't added. We went through the career break one a few weeks ago, too. Now, I don't know about that. I wouldn't recommend that one. But you can add all these other features and patents and honors and awards. And so there's a bunch of other things that you can add with your clients, which is if you are writing profiles for someone, I would be really clear about your scope so that they understand what sections you're doing, because you could go all day. You could go for weeks and weeks filling out these sections with and for your clients. So those are the areas that are new in the profile. I want to go to the jobs tab and talk about some things that are happening over here on the jobs tab that you may not be aware of. So if you have a free account, you'll come in here and you'll notice, even with my paid account, that the little resume tool is gone. So the place where you could upload resumes and get feedback on your resume, get other skills to add to your resume that we were just showing 2 weeks ago. It's actually in that video that we were doing with Denise. It's gone. They announced it. It has ceased to exist. It's gone. Now, I am able, as a premium person, to still just kind of scroll down and see jobs where I'd be a top applicant. But I'm not even, the other day I still had my resume feature popping up here in the scroll. That must have been a glitch because now it's completely gone. Let's see. When I click into one of these jobs. So it's still suggesting, I'd be a host at Whohat. I think that's kind of depressing for me. Lecturer in entrepreneurship, that sounds much more what I would hope to be up my alley, right? So it now has these new AI prompts, and these are going to be premium only, where it says, am I a good fit for this job? How can I best position myself for this job? And I can click on those and the little premium feature pops up and gives me ideas. We can do most of that for free in ChatGPT, probably get better content. But it's there. This is not a reason that I would use premium. We'll come back to that in a minute, see what it says. You might remember that if you watched that video with Denise and we were looking at the keywords, that it does show you the skills associated with your profile and the skills that are missing, and then the skills that are among applicants. I believe that now all of this is only for premium, but I'd love if any of you have a free account, if you could see if these might still be available for a free account, but you just can't put in a resume anymore and have it look at a resume compared to it. It's only going to be looking at your profile compared to the job, which is, again, you can get that comparison piece in other platforms. So Laura, you're seeing them and the free ones with a free account, I'm guessing. So that's interesting. It's good to know. So these ones, and we went through this, that these ones are really quite generic. The skills, the skills missing are super soft, squishy. No one's going to be searching for that, which is why we talked about, if you want to do a trial, or you as a career services provider want to have a paid account, although now you won't be able to add your client's profile in there anymore, which is kind of a bummer. But you can still see the skills that other applicants have that I don't. And these get much more into the hard skills. I don't know if they're doing that on purpose, where it's the soft skills that you can see for free, but then you can't see really the hard skills until you pay. But this might be worth it for 1 month of LinkedIn career level, to be able to see the people that are applying to the same jobs you're applying to, what skills do they have? And it's only available in that premium feature, and only when you click into a job application. Again, you can't upload a resume and do this comparison anymore. You have to do it once you're in the job. You don't have to apply, but once you're in the job, this, it sounds like you can still see for free. But this, where it's really more, it's more information you can actually use, is only if you have the premium account. So I would play around with that. If you have an opportunity to do a free trial, check it out, see if you think it might be worth it. And the premium allows you to click through and add those missing skills right away. Yep. Free account still shows the skills, but you have to go to the skills section to add them. Yeah. Jacqueline, so you see the free skills and the top skills, and I'm guessing that you don't see for free these skills of other applicants. So confirm that for me, but I think that this was and still is a premium feature where you get to see the skills of other applicants, which is really much more beneficial than these top skills that are pretty fluffy. And I could go into a job for a client and still see the skills of other applicants, even though it would be connected to my profile. So it isn't going to pick up the skills I'm missing, but it would still show me the skills of other applicants, even if I was doing it for a client. So I think there's some benefit there, even as a career services provider. Used to be better when you could upload a client's resume and do the comparison. But even if I am comparing it to my profile, I at least get to see the 10 skills other applicants have, which adds a lot of value. So those are just some features that you might check out for your client. While we're here on the jobs and kind of company tab, let me see if I can get over to the company profile. So on the company profile, and this has been around for a little while, but it's still things that people should know. So on the About tab, for some businesses, not all, they have to have set it up in their profile, but there's this I'm interested button. This does show up in the recruiter view that you're interested in their organization. So you can do that. You can come in. Again, it's not your profile that would prevent you from seeing this. It's the company page. So if you don't see it for a company, it's just because the company hasn't turned it on under their About tab. It doesn't have anything to do with the individual's profile access, etc. It's just whether or not the company has turned it on. And then if we go back to that job, let me see if there's just one other thing that we can do. So you used to be able to mark that this was a top company for you when you went in to apply. You could choose 3 companies a month for free. So you could say, I'm interested, but then there was another place where you could actually say that this was one of your top jobs. Might have to click on apply. And then we'll see if this works. Nope, it just takes me right to the page. So there is a feature in some companies, some places, where you can say that this is a top company that you want to work for. And there's only 3 of those that you get a month for free, where you can say that this is a top choice for you. I'll find the article that goes through how to find it and post it in the comments later so that you can see how it looks and where to find it if it is available for that company or that job. So those things are available for free, but on a limited basis. The I'm interested button is available to everyone. It just has minimal, it kind of has this minimal impact, but it does have some impact. But then this piece where you can mark that they're your top choice supposedly has even more impact. So those are things just to pay attention to and think about. So I'll find the article that shows you where to go to that. All right, so let's talk a little bit about some of the networking pieces that are new. And this just showed up for me yesterday. I'd love to see if anyone else got it faster. But this is in your network. So when you click on the network button up here, the little people piece in your profile, now, both on my phone and on desktop, I'm seeing these 2 options of grow and catch up. So grow still lists the invites, that someone was saying that they want to connect with me, where I can accept or ignore the invitations. So you can still do that. But then there's this catch up button. And when I click on that catch up button, it takes me to a new tab where I'm going to share that with you. I set it up beforehand so that you wouldn't see people's things that they might not want everybody in the world seeing. And let's see here, this one. So this is what you see when you click on catch up. So under catch up, you get to see people's job changes, birthdays, work anniversaries, or education. So, some of these have been out for a while. Lisa, you've had this. It just showed up for me yesterday. Excellent. Just saw it today. I don't think this is just for premium members. I think this is for everyone. Excellent. So Lisa, you're also saying that companies that have to use LinkedIn Recruiter to say, are you interested? That's an interesting thought. I'll have to check with my colleagues at the University of Colorado and see if they do pay for a recruiter seat, since the University of Colorado page was showing up with the I'm interested button. I'll check that. So this is, you click on the My Network up at the top. When you click up at the My Network up at the top, then maybe not yet, because it sounds like they're rolling this out and have been for a while. But I've got the grow and the catch up under My Network. And grow is what it always was, my invitations for newsletters and invitations to connect. And then the catch up is this suggested, you might want to tell these people these things. So this was around a while ago, a long while ago. And then it went away, and now it looks like it's back. Yeah, Lauren is saying it kind of creeped her out. So there is a warning to send to your clients to be careful here. So sometimes people say they started a new job because they got laid off, and they're putting in, that they're freelancing, or sometimes people even put laid off as their job title or whatever, career break. You always want to go to the person's profile and check what the update really is. You don't just want to hit this little congrats on starting your new role button. It's very tempting, but not a good idea. Now, the birthdays, those can be a nice way to keep up with people, but I just think about being different. What could you say, or how could you connect with that person at a little bit deeper level than everybody else who's just going to be hitting the happy birthday button, right? And you get a million happy birthdays. I actually didn't miss. I didn't miss the million happy birthdays from people that don't really care about me, right? So if you really do want to stay connected with that person, you want to use their birthday to do it, that's fine. But you consider how you can be more connective in that message, how you can, add some connection, personality, something to that message besides just hitting the button. And then, of course, they've got the work anniversaries and the education. Used to be under notifications, and it was just kind of all mixed in there. And they kind of had gone away for the most part. I hadn't seen a notification about somebody's birthday in a really long time. And I don't think people were getting notified about my birthday because I wasn't getting all those messages. So they were in notifications, but they weren't very often. And now they've pulled them out. It looks like they're going to be more frequent that you're getting the notification of your network. And that can be a good thing. You just want to use it wisely in terms of your networking and the way that you connect. You could do a video message. You always want to know your audience with that. So when in my world, I'm either working or I'm momming. And when I'm working, I tend to not watch those types of videos because I'm trying to focus on work. And when I'm momming, I don't watch those types of videos because I can't hear you over the children in my life who are very boisterous. So I don't do well with video or audio messages. I in fact, turn all of my voicemails into text messages because if I'm doing it outside of work hours, I have to be able to read it because I'm not hearing anything that any of you lovely people would like to say to me over the noise of my lovely children. So to know your audience, know what's going to work for them. I think a video message is great connection, and maybe it does something even if I'm not able to watch it. But it's always good to think about what is this person and what's going to work for them, and to stand out and be aware of who they are and what's going to work for them as well. Love that. Okay. So those are some of the newest things that I saw. If there's anything else that people are seeing that you would add, feel free to share it. I will say that one of the other pieces that people miss in terms of an opportunity, let me get back to my homepage. One of the things that we might miss in terms of an opportunity is that people are still following hashtags, but hashtags have gotten really weird on LinkedIn. But there is an opportunity to kind of search for people that you might want to follow. And you can search that way. And then you can search by companies as well in this follow piece. I'm going to go back so it's easier to get to a different way. So I can obviously still do groups. This was interesting. So groups are now under these buttons, and maybe not on everybody's profile, but on my profile, it says for business. And that's not where I would have assumed to find groups, but that's where groups are now, is under that for business section. And I don't know, maybe that title has changed or something. It took me a minute to find my groups the other day. And then I can also, I think it's probably easiest just to go into my profile, scroll down to the very bottom and look at a few different things. Companies, obviously you can follow companies, you can see companies there. But one other thing that you might not know is that you can follow newsletters here. So let's say that you're interested in a certain audience or a certain company or a certain conversation. You can come in here and also look at newsletters that you might want to follow, or the newsletters that you are following if you want to manage your own subscriptions there. But that's I don't know that it's new, but something people don't know is that you can go in there and manage your subscriptions or see the newsletters that you are following so that you can better follow the ones that you really want to. I'll check and see if anybody added anything there. Nope. Okay. So those are the newest features. Those are some of the things that I'd say that you want to pay attention to as you are going through the process. And the last thing that I'll share is that we have our certified profile writer program coming up tomorrow. Actually, it starts. And if you're interested in learning how to write profiles, you want to get feedback on your writing, you want to really go deep into not just how recruiters are searching, but how do our clients stand out in their storytelling. That's what this class is all about. So we talk about how recruiters see and search LinkedIn, the role of keywords, how to find them, go deeper. You get to ask questions. Then we really talk about how to write profiles with personality. We go through that first. How does that look? How do you do it? And then we are going to talk about some AI tools that you can use to write faster after you get some of that great client information. Those of you who've taken our resume writing course, that the main part of this course is that you get great feedback, you get some practice writing, and you really get to go through the information in an in-depth manner. So if you're interested in that, shoot me a message, let me know, send you the information. We always record our courses. You get lifetime access and you get lifetime certification. We don't do a membership or renewal. So it gives you that opportunity to just hone your skills really at a deep level, and then continue to be part of our community at a lifetime level. So that's what we've got going on. And we will continue talking a lot about AI because we've got some new AI stuff coming up, as well as job search and using social media for job search. So if you have any thoughts or questions or topics you'd like us to address on those areas, feel free to let me know, drop me a note, drop me a message. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe so that you get notified when we go live and when we drop our recap videos. We'll see everyone next Tuesday for more of the now, the new, and the next in careers.